Hi, it's Marina here. Are you somebody who is often the supporter, but not the supported? Are you somebody that has found themselves doing a lot on their own, often because it's quicker, often because it's easier, but also because you've been so disappointed in the past by people's lack of support? If you're somebody that has not had a good relationship with support, and maybe you haven't thought about it like that, but now if you really look at it, if you would describe yourself as saying, you know what, yeah, I've done a lot of my life on my own. In fact, I've done the hardest parts of my life on my own, then this is for you. So why do you think you find it hard to have support in your life? Well, if you look back at your childhood, and this is something I'm seeing more and more actually with all of my clients, and so many of them are having issues with support, whether that's support with their teams, support in their businesses, support in their relationships, just support from their neighbors, whomever it is. If you look back at your childhood, have a look back and just notice if you thought as a child that you did receive support. If you're somebody that's like, yeah, I had a great childhood and actually I received support, why wouldn't you be receiving it now? Is it possible that what you thought was support was actually control? Control from your parents, control from your caregivers, control from school, right? And of course, those people that were supporting us at the time have maybe had their own issues with support. So there's no blame here. There's just an opening up to really look at things. Is it possible that what you thought was support was really control masquerading as support? Because if you back then were getting support, but actually it was kind of control, honey, it wouldn't have felt nice. It would have felt icky. It would have felt controlling. You would have felt like maybe you would be, obliterated. It would have felt invasive. It wouldn't have felt safe at all. So even if the people giving us the support were like, see, I'm helping you, I'm being good to you, if you felt crushed by it or you felt scared by it and you didn't feel safe, that's not support, that's control. Likewise, perhaps you grew up in a narcissistic household, or you had people where it was all about them but not about you, or there was no emotional support, or you felt you're like you're walking on eggshells around people, right? Or you felt like it was just very, very one-sided. So it was very much about how they felt, what they needed, rather than you. If you already know that you didn't grow up in a safe environment, then you will know that you've never really had support. Actually, instead, what you incurred was attack, right? Was rejection, right? Was a control drama, was all of those things. So in you somewhere, there may well be cognitive dissonance around what support feels like. Let me tell you, when you actually get real unconditional support, it warms you up from the inside, like it goes from your stomach all the way up to your heart and kind of just flushes over your face. You instantly feel loved. You instantly feel seen. You instantly feel safe because you are. You feel emotionally safe. You don't feel like wobbly. There's a stability that comes in. There's like a, if you can start recognizing the difference between the support that you do have in your life or where you have had support in the past, and it may have been from somebody in a cafe, in a supermarket, right? It might have been somebody that walked past you and just said something. You can find that one time where you know, actually, you know what? I was really genuinely supported, and start focusing on that. You'll start to really have discernment between support. Oh my goodness, it feels good. Yum, yum, yum. I want more of that actually, because it makes me feel good. It helps me in my life. It makes me accelerate. It's actually a form of love, as opposed to control masquerading itself as support, which you can feel isn't real. So if you've got people in your life that are asking you questions, how are you? But it doesn't feel real, it doesn't feel genuine, it doesn't feel loving. Trust that. When you've done work on yourself and you've done healing on yourself, you really can trust how you feel. And if it lands flat, if it lands cold, if it just, you're like, it just feels like cardboard, there you are. As opposed to somebody genuinely saying to you, hey, how are you? And actually really feeling and knowing they want to know, they want to hear, right? It's like an energy that comes through. When we can discern the difference between the two, oh my goddess, our life changes hugely. I used to have a really bad relationship with support. I kept calling in team for my business that were all wrong for me. They were all about them. They weren't actually support. I was supporting them. They weren't supporting me. Nuts. I've got like stories that even make me kind of freak out at the fact that I allowed all of that to happen because I didn't know what real support was. I didn't know. All I knew was that I had to support myself because I wasn't getting it. Now, that's not to say anything about family or the people I grew up with, like wonderful, wonderful, wonderful people, all of that. But for me, that's where it took me. And particularly if you're somebody also that has back problems or back issues, scoliosis, for example, I always look at the spine. The spine is there for support. If somewhere in beautiful you have been very good at supporting other people at the expense of yourself, maybe your clients at the expense of you, your time, your energy, maybe you're not charging enough, maybe you give to your friends, but they don't think of you back, whatever it is, or in a romantic relationship, every time you can let in genuine support, you will start to feel better and better and better and better. And if there's nobody around you at the moment and you're like, well, damn, I'm not going to be able to do that. Can you start receiving support from nature? Can you start receiving support if you've got a tree out there, or you've got a plant at home, or you've got a crystal? Can you start receiving support from them? When you can start receiving support, doesn't matter who or what it's from, as long as it feels loving, right? It might be your guides, it might be from the higher chakras. Practice actually consciously receiving. You will start to recognize it, and it will start to feel safer and safer for you to receive more and more support. Because for someone like you to genuinely receive support, you will make the whole world sing. You know how much you give. You know how much you want to help this planet. For someone like you to receive support will be an absolute game changer for you, for this planet, for those that you love, for all of us. Anyway, I hope this really, really supports you. Loads of love. Thanks for watching.